So first of all, you need your fabric, your chalk, and a scissors. So first you fold the fabric, right? And then it depends on how loose you want the off shoulder to be. You use with your shoulder measurement, right? You have to measure. I'm using 9. My shoulder measurement is 16, which is supposed to be, when you divide 16 by 2, it should be 8. But I'm going to use 9 because I don't want it too loose and I don't want it too tight either. And then the armhole, my armhole is supposed to be 20, and then if you divide 20 by 2, it's 10. But instead of, since it's an off shoulder, normally people start from 4, as in remove 4 inches from the off shoulder. But for me, I prefer to just continue with the whole measurement, as in remove 2 inches. So that will be 2 inches to 10 inches as my armhole. And then at the end, I fold this in, because if you remove 4 inches, at the end of the day, you still add a band with an elastic. But I prefer to just work with 8 inches, right? That's removing 2 inches from the 10. Work with 8 inches and then fold it in, instead of working with 6 inches and adding a band. So then the bust measurement I'm working with will be, because I want it loose, I'm going to work with 11. And then the same goes for the hip. But if you don't want it, if you want yours loose, you could add an inch to your measurement. If you want it fitted, then you could work with just your normal measurement. It depends on how loose you want it. You could just adjust or add more inches to it. So my bust measurement, I'm going to stop at 12. But then going down here, I'll just continue with the same, like I'm just going to trim off this end. So my bust measurement is 40. 40 by 4 is 10. So the 10 that I have, I'm going to add 1 inch to it because I want it slightly loose, making it 11, right? But then for my seam allowance, I'm going to make it 12. That is 1 inch for the seam allowance. So that's why I'm using 12 here. But for the hip, I'm just going to go straight down, because I want the hip to be a little bit tighter. So I'm not going to touch the hip at all. So the next thing I need to check is my dress length. I want my dress length to be 29, right? So 29 plus the 2 inches I'm going to use to fold the top part, that will be 30, 31. And then the 1 inch for the bottom of the dress, that will be 32. So I'm going to mark it at 32. So I'm going to mark at 32. So that's basically what I'm going to do now, is just mark the armhole. So this is one pattern of the off shoulder, right? One pattern here. So I'm still going to, after joining everything with this front piece, I'm going to trace the back. So to trace the back, I just place the fabric. If I fold it, then I place the fabric the way I want it to be. And then so now I'm just going to cut it out. So now I'm going to trace the sleeve that I'm working with. So this is my sleeve here, right? This is the end of the dress. So I'm going to use it to trace the sleeve. So I'm just going to fold the fabric. It doesn't matter, you just have to know what the length you want to use as the sleeve would be. For me, I don't mind using the whole fabric, the whole length of this, the bottom of the dress as my sleeve. Because remember, I'll still fold in a few inches here when I fold the top of this dress. So I'm still going to fold it as where I'm passing the elastic. So now I have to just trace in this here. So this is my dress. I'm just going to put it on top of the sleeve. So what I did here is I just folded one on top of each other and then folded this way, and now I'm going to cut open this end. And then cut this open too. Right? So it's like two pieces of the same fabric. Now I'm going to fold it and then trace out this same sleeve. You're going to trace it at the end where you have all the ends of your fabrics. That's where you're going to trace it, not on this other end where you have the fold, not here. So you cut it off. So after that, I'm just going to the machine to sew it close. So this is my sleeve and this is my dress. So one piece of the dress, the second piece of the dress, one piece, the second piece, and then I have my two sleeves here. I have my two sleeves. So basically what I'm going to do now is to join these two ends here, join it, and then join this one on this side. And then when I'm done joining it, what I normally do is I fold it inside. Like I take one piece and then I fold it in, right? So after folding it, I sew it down all over and then I pass my elastic inside. And that's basically how you do it. So I'm going to sew mine and bring it back. This is the finished product. I've attached the dress, and then this is for the little girl. If you want to make it a uniform, it's just a smaller measurement of the bigger one. So guys, for watching, please subscribe, like and share. Bye.